Good afternoon. I'm Will Norton, Professor and Dean of the Meek School, and it is my privilege to welcome you to our commencement exercises for the year 2014. If you are able, please rise for our national anthem. This is a day of celebration for the Meek School and for each of you, and we're delighted today to be part of your lives. It is my privilege to introduce two special guests. Please hold your applause until I've introduced them. Aubrey Patterson, President of the Institutions of Higher Learning of Mississippi Public Universities. In other words, Mr. Patterson basically is the boss of everyone on this platform except Charles Overby. Mr. Patterson is served as Chairman and Chief Executive Officer of Bancorp South from 1991 to November 27, 2012. He has been Chairman Emeritus of Bancorp South, Inc. since April 23, 2014. The second special guest is Charles L. Overby. Mr. Overby is chairman of the Overby Center for Southern Journalism and Politics and an adjunct instructor in the Meek School. Mr. Overby was chairman and chief executive officer of the Freedom Forum, an independent, nonpartisan foundation dedicated to First Amendment and media issues. He is a former editor of the Clarion Ledger in Jackson, Mississippi. Under his leadership, the newspaper won the Pulitzer Prize for public service for news and editorials on education reform in Mississippi in 1983. He was vice president for news and communications for Gannett and served on the management committee of Gannett and USA Today. Please recognize Aubrey Patterson and Charles Overby. Faculty members of the school have worked diligently to help make this day possible for your student, and I want to introduce each faculty member who is on the platform today. I'm asking each to stand and remain standing when I call his or her name. Hold your applause until each has been introduced. After we have expressed our appreciation for their work, they may be seated. Professor Joe Atkins, head of the graduate faculty in journalism. Dr. Kathleen Wickham, associate professor. Dr. Brad Schultz, associate professor. Dr. Nancy DuPont, associate professor. Deborah Winger, associate professor and director of the journalism program. Curtis Wilkie, associate professor and Overby fellow. Dr. Christy Swain, assistant professor. Patricia Thompson, assistant professor and director of the Student Media Center. Charlie Mitchell, assistant dean and assistant professor. Dr. Jim Lump, assistant professor and head of the graduate faculty in integrated marketing and communications. Cynthia Joyce, assistant professor. Scott Feeney, assistant professor and head of integrated marketing communications. Darren Sinevsky, Assistant Professor. Vanessa Gregory, Assistant Professor. Mickey Harris, Assistant Professor. Robin Street, Lecturer. Bill Rose, Instructor and Overby Fellow. Evangeline Robinson, Visiting Professional. Al Steele, Visiting Professional. Chris Sparks, Visiting Professional. R.J. Morgan, Instructor and Director, Mississippi Scholastic Press Association. Roy Frostenson, Assistant Director of the Student Media Center. Tom Chapman, Instructor and Manager of Media Technology at the Student Media Center. We also recognize 5 persons who are not on the platform but who are crucial to the Meek School. Deidre Jackson, Instructor and Director of Academic Advising. Fred Caraway, Accountant for the school. Mickey Newton, Videographer and Video Editor. Shannon Dixon, Operations Manager and Supervisor. And Paula Hurdle, Secretary Receptionist. Today's speaker is Harold Crump. Raised in small towns throughout Mississippi, Mr. Crump earned an undergraduate degree in 1953 at the University of Mississippi. His first job after graduation was an assistant advertising manager of the Blytheville Courier New Journal in Arkansas. While his first job was not in broadcasting, he quickly made the change and for decades was one of the most recognized executives in the broadcasting world. For more than 23 years, Mr. Crump has served as Vice President of Corporate Affairs at Hubbard Broadcasting. Mr. Crump was Oprah Winfrey's boss when she started in Nashville at WTVF-TV. In 2010, Mr. Crump and his wife, Leigh, attended Oprah's show. Near the end of the show, Oprah told the audience, "Harold Crump, my first boss. Harold Crump, stand up." Harold Crump, my first boss in television, impressed me so much, and his wife, Leigh, Oprah said, "Let me tell you this. Years ago, when I was making $112 a week, Harold called us all upstairs. This was Thanksgiving. He was going to give us a turkey, but it turned out he gave us a week's pay. Because of that, for 24 years, I have given a week's pay to every one of my staff for Christmas and Thanksgiving." Oprah's comments make it clear that today's speaker is not an executive who has led in ordinary ways. Throughout his career, his tenacious commitment has been to pursue excellence and serve others. We are proud to have him as our speaker today. Welcome home, Harold.
Thank you very much. Let's not forget what Garrison Keillor has said. He says, "A commencement speech is like a dark cloud over a beautiful sunny day." So beware. And now, an official good afternoon and congratulations for what has obviously been excellent work on your part for several years. And congratulations to you parents for raising such smart kids. And I want to begin by thanking Dean Norton for inviting me to be here with you today. My graduation day from Ole Miss was one of the proudest moments in my life, and I hope that your memories of this great institution are just as fond as are mine. I'm not here today because I am more talented or intelligent than others in my field. I'm here because I'm lucky. It's always been said it's better to be lucky than to be good. Well, all my life I have been blessed, and my career has proven it. As you heard, I was here in Ole Miss advertising as a major, and I graduated in 1953. I got a commission in the Air Force ROTC that year, and out of 11,800 that were getting their commissions, 9 men were selected as an experiment by the Air Force. Apparently, what they wanted to do as an experiment never worked because they never did it again. But the 9 of us reported to Camp Kilmer, New Jersey. They processed us into the Air Force and overseas at the same time, and 5 days later, we were on boats headed places, and I was going to Germany for the German occupation. I was sent to the largest Air Force base in Europe, which was right outside of Munich, Germany, in Erding. The commanding general and all of the bird colonels at that base were all ROTC graduates from the South. And here I am, one of 9 as an experiment. You talk about somebody having it made. It was unbelievable how good they were to me and what I was able to do. As a result of this, when ordinarily a general would not have known a second lieutenant from the wall, at the end of my first year was the end of his 3-year tour, and he also had a small base 20 miles away in Freising, Germany, which today is where the Munich airport is located. I was called into the general's office, and I was asked by the general if I would like to transfer to Freising. Well, I had it made where I was, and I said no. This irritated the general, and so he told me, by golly, you're going to go. And then what was over there were 900 men and 200 families. It was the NATO Electronics School, and it was the United States Air Force Europe NCO Academy. And there were 3 captains over there who ran these 2 groups, and the 3rd captain ran the squadron that had the radar warning net for all of southern Germany. And our general would go over once a month, and he would inspect them, and he'd try to tell them what to do. And of course, the captains reported to someone else, so they didn't want anything to do with him, and they fought all the time. So the general said to me, this is what we're going to do. We're going to make you the base commander over there in Freising. You will be over these 3 captains. They will have to report to a second lieutenant, and this will be the most upsetting thing that happens to them in their entire lives. I couldn't believe it. I went over there. I had a staff car and a driver. I could have any house in town I wanted if I wanted to kick people out because it was occupation, but I didn't do that. I was in an apartment complex that we're building nearby, and I ended up with the new general coming over once a month to inspect, and the other 27 days were mine. I could write my own 3-day passes consecutively, and I traveled all over Europe and had one of the most wonderful times I ever had in my life. So I'm telling you this again to let you know it's good to be lucky. The first television job that I had, as he told you about my first job in Blytheville, was at the CBS affiliate in Nashville, Tennessee. And 20 years later, I became the general manager of that station, having worked in every single department in the station. 5 years later, I was transferred to Houston, and there I ran a group of stations. As I kept up with the success of those stations, I came to realize even more so that the most important department in any station, be it radio or television, is the news department, your department. Every general manager knows that if you can draw a local audience to the local stations that is large, you've got it made in the rest of the station's programming. So everything else becomes easier. And now I want to digress a bit, and I want to give you my congratulations for the tremendous recognition that you students have received for your work here at Ole Miss. And I'm going to read this because I don't want to get them wrong, and I do want all you parents and friends to hear this. For an unprecedented 3rd year in a row, Newswatch 99 won the Best Student Newscast at the Mississippi Associated Press Broadcasters Banquet, and the Rebel Radio won the Best Student News Story. You won 5 first places and 11, yes, you won 5 first places and 11 finalist awards from the Society of Professional Journalists, and the Nationals are still pending today. And in Southeast Journalism, in their contest, you won 20 awards, including 4 first places and the annual Best of the South contest. Now let's hear it. Again, my heartiest congratulations to you because you do that. But no matter what type of news organization you choose to enter now, you're going to be beginning a career that can literally change the lives of viewers, listeners, or readers. You have already been influencing the decisions that are made here on the campus for these last 4 years. I know that some of you chose to produce a Monday through Friday half-hour news television program. Some of you worked on the Monday through Friday Ole Miss newspaper, and some of you have worked in Ole Miss radio. But again, to have the ability to make the decision that you made to pick which one of those you wanted tells you how correct your first decision was to come to Ole Miss, because that doesn't happen at a lot of other schools. And I'm going to tell you now, too, that you are going to enjoy the work that you are about to get into. You will be so glad that you made this decision time and again. But let's talk about the responsibilities that come with these jobs. In the late 80s, I owned the CBS affiliate in Charleston, South Carolina. And in September of 1989, a hurricane named Hugo blew in. It was larger than the state of South Carolina when it came ashore, and it was the first hurricane there in 100 years. No electric power was there for the next 2 weeks in that entire area. And the other television stations that were there simply chose to ride the networks and let everything else happen as it would. But we had taken our entire staff and their families and their pets inland 20 miles to try to ride out the hurricane because we didn't know how high the water surge would be that came in and whether or not it would come over Charleston. It did come in, but fortunately it missed Charleston, and it was pretty good, 31 feet high. It's one of the highest that has ever come ashore on a hurricane that came into the United States. So we got in our cars the next morning, we rode back in, and we saw the tremendous devastation that had happened. We went straight to our television tower, and we set up there immediately with our portable cameras to start trying to telecast back. And it suddenly dawned on me, nobody's got any power here. Nobody's going to see this. In those days, this is 1989, there weren't that many portable television sets that would run on batteries and such. Well, I realized that when I had purchased this station 4 years earlier from the company that owned it, they also owned a radio station, and its antenna was on top of our tower as well. So I said to the chief engineer, let's put that thing on the air now because people have portable radios, they'll be able to hear us. During the daylight hours, of course, the entire state was wiped, so we had already realized that there was no radio signal coming in. It couldn't come in. At night, you would get radio signals, but they were coming from Chicago and New York and all over the place as they normally do at night. So he said, well, that's fine, but you can't do it. And I said, why not? He said, because it's against regulations, you don't have the ability to do so, and you don't have the permission to do so. I said, that's where you're wrong. I got the ability to do so, and with that, I kicked the door in. We turned on the transmitter and we told people on the air that we were doing both together and we would continue to do both together. Overnight, we found out that our studio there in downtown Charleston had received power because we were right next to the largest hospital that was there in Charleston, and therefore, when they were beginning to get power coming in and creating it themselves or generating it, we got it too. So we started the next morning at 6 a.m., and we went live from 6 a.m. until 12 midnight. Now, the reason I'm telling you all of this is because we took our reporters who were there, and we put them on a 24-hour schedule. They turned into immediately some of the most important people in the entire area. Why? Because we could tell people where they could go and get food that was being brought in, there was none otherwise, where they could get water that was coming in that was fit to drink, where they could get clothing, where they could get anything that was needed at this point. But what I haven't told you is, back, as you know, Charleston is a historic town, and back when they put telephone ins many, many years earlier, they decided they did not want to put telephone lines up to be seen because this is not what historic Charleston had had during the war. So what they did instead was they buried those lines, and then, amazingly enough, they decided they would bury a special generator system based on electric batteries that would give them enough power to keep going for 2 weeks at a time. So weirdly, you had no power in your home, you couldn't get lights, you couldn't get anything going, you couldn't cook, the restaurants didn't have them, the grocery stores didn't have them, but you had a telephone that worked. You could call anybody in the United States, you could call each other. So what we did with our reporters was we said to them, you have got your radios to talk to us, but you can also use the telephone. So what they did was they went out, and suddenly they became the voice of what was needed in this entire area. They were telling people there's been a wreck, telling us to tell them there's been a wreck at so-and-so, and we need an ambulance because somebody's been hurt. So we're going on the air saying to the police, please send an ambulance to so-and-so or the hospital, or we just need a tow truck because it's that. Person would call and say, my wife is having a baby, I need a doctor. So we're saying, please get us a doctor to this. And all the things that are going on that are happening with all of this, accidents that occur where someone breaks a leg or falls down in a swimming pool and almost drowns. Our reporters are calling back, and then we're telling people what's happening, and we're telling others that they need to go there and what they need to do. So our reporters realized that they had become the most important people, basically, in the entire town to hold it together. And what we did was, or what I should say, not what we did, but what resulted was the entire population of that area suddenly realized we were their station, and as I'm told today, not owning it, it still is that way. The next year, our station, for what we had done, received every single national television award that was given in the nation. And then the New York International Television Festival gave us their award as the best local television station in the world, beating one in Hong Kong and one in France. Now, the reason I'm telling you about all of this is, if you find yourself in a situation like I just described, and your company does not do the right thing, it rode around on the network like the others did, you need to leave it. Get out right then, because your career is going to be somewhat dependent upon where you are and what you are learning as you go along. I want to point out to you also that you never know where your first reported job can lead. You just heard about me and Oprah Winfrey, but what you should realize is she started out as a reporter, a trainee reporter that I talked into going on the air when she didn't want to. And then from that, she went into being a news anchor. And of course, she was just super at that. She had that great personality. She stayed with me for 8 years, and we owned the ratings there in Nashville, Tennessee. And then she went to Baltimore, and she got into interviewing on the side. And so again, I'm telling you this story because as you think today, you know what you want to do, and you've made the right decision based on what has already occurred with you here. You don't know where this can lead. Learning to interview can lead you into doing totally other things from what you're thinking of today. So I think, again, what you have chosen to do going into this line of work is really, really good. When you're in the middle of a breaking story, as you all will be in your various jobs from time to time, you'll get the inside story at that stage. You'll be recognized on the street by people coming by, and you'll get confidential information from very influential people, and it will make you feel important. And the reason it will is because you are. You have chosen a profession that is going to make you important. But, and this is a big but, there will be a payback time. There will be a crossroads where you will either choose a self-serving direction or you will commit yourself again to career growth. You who have been entrusted with care for the public airways and papers' contents will be called upon to put aside your personal interests and provide public service. And it will not be easy, but it is a must. For you to succeed and advance in your profession, that's what you must do, and you must be thinking about this. 3 years ago, my close friend, Dan Rather, was your speaker here at this commencement, and I'm sure probably most of you attended that occasion. But the reason I bring him up is because he has published another book. It's called Rather Outspoken, and you should buy it, and you should read it. And the reason is because it goes into detail of his firing at CBS, and he gives the names and the actions of every single person involved. And when you read it, you will see how he was picked as the whipping boy for purely political reasons. And as I said, it's detailed into the smallest action. But then think what happened to him from there. Because he had been doing the right things on CBS for all those years, his opportunities still opened up. And as you know from him being here, the one that he chose has made him very, very successful. And again, this comes back to what you must think about and do as you go through your life and your career. If you are doing the right thing, if you are establishing a reputation for yourself, if something goes wrong, others will know what you have done and they will come in to help you. Now, I want to close, and in closing, I want to thank Dean Norton again for allowing me to be your commencement speaker. I want to thank each of you for enduring my stories and my advice. And I want you to go forth now and live your lives. I want you to enjoy your profession, and I want you to never, ever let disappointments deter you from what goals you have set for yourselves today. You are now Ole Miss graduates, and that means you have come from the best of all universities. You chose correctly there. You have chosen well in what you're doing now, and I think that you are going to be pleased with your profession and with your lives from this day forward. I thank you for your courteous attention to all my stories, and my congratulations to you because you deserve it and because you're here. Thank you.
Now we recognize our students. Will candidates for the Master of Arts please rise and come forward for conferring of degrees? Please hold your applause until all the candidates have been recognized.
Andrew David Anglin. When you wish upon a star, your dreams come true. Thank you, Ole Miss, for giving me the resources to achieve my dreams. I love you, Mom and Dad. Paul George Catul. To quote the great Marshall Henderson, Paul hopes to make a name for himself so I can get this money. Joya Marie McNeil. There were times I wanted to quit, but I had great people cheering me on to finish this race and finish it well. 2 Corinthians 4:4-7 is my bio. Brandon Christopher Rook. Mr. Rook is from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, and is a 2012 graduate of Alcorn State University. He's currently a TV reporter for WTVY in Dothan, Alabama. Tiffany Leanne Smith. From Meridian, she has a bachelor's degree in art, and she's enjoyed the 6 years she's been at Ole Miss, but she's looking forward to a new adventure. Deanna Brittany Spencer. Ms. Spencer is from Conyers, Georgia, an alumnus of Rust College in Holly Springs with a BA in journalism. In fall 2010, she began her studies in the master's program at Ole Miss in integrated marketing communications. Tulia Taylor. Tulia is from Brookhaven, Mississippi, where her name and her 4-year-old hand is forever etched into Downtown Street. Her BA in journalism is from Samford University. Chun Wu. Chun is from the other side of the earth. She is creative, smart, hardworking, self-driven, and modest. She also speaks Chinglish. And she says hotty toddy.
Will the candidates for the Bachelor of Science in Integrated Marketing Communication please rise and come forward for conferring of degrees? Again, please try to contain your exuberance until the candidates have been recognized.
Sarah Ahmad Al-Shari, cum laude. Sarah is moving to Atlanta in August. She plans on working at an ad agency and stalking celebrities in her spare time. Hotty toddy. Caitlin Bachmeyer. Caitlin has a passion for creativity. She believes the most exciting opportunities in life are inspired by friends, travel, and good food. Betsy Baird. Right meow, Betsy would like to thank her friends and family for their constant love and support. Upon graduation, she will volunteer in Africa for the summer and then hopefully be #killing it in Dallas. Brianna Barnes. Thank you to all my family, friends, and professors who helped me achieve this amazing moment. Gloria Briggs. Gloria will be working in public relations and marketing. She thanks her family and friends for all their love and support over the last 4 amazing years. Caroline Kirby Callahan, daughter of Dawn and Andrew Balaciano and John Callahan, sister of Suzette, John, and Avery Callahan. Caroline would like to thank her family for their love and support over the 4 years. Meg Coulter. Meg is moving back to St. Louis to live in her mother's basement. She would like to thank her mother for everything she's done. #blessed. Catherine Dale. Quote, "You're at the age where it's okay to take chances and fail. It's part of life. I would like to thank Mr. Feeney, Mr. Frostenson, and family." Katie Davenport. "Forget a wedding. This is the happiest day of my life. Thanks to my family, friends, and A.O. Pi sisters for all the encouragement. Hotty toddy, y'all." Alexandra Donaldson. is receiving a specialization in media sales and management and is headed to New York for an internship at Woman's Day magazine. And she thanks her family. She couldn't have gotten here without them. Charles Ellis. Can you guess what I'm wearing under this robe? Matthew Elder Galatzan. Mom, Dad, we made it. Ann Gamble. Thanks, Mom and Dad, I did it. Laura Gaziano. If anyone from southeastern Illinois is looking to hire a recent grad, Laura Gaziano is available to start immediately. 678-644-1872. Thank you, Mom and Dad. Morgan Lynn Gregory. She's beauty and she's grace. Victoria Griffin. Victoria's 4 years at Ole Miss have been life-changing. She has learned so much. She is so grateful to her family and friends for all they've done for her. Shelby Hall. Shelby would like to thank her family for their love and support and is excited to see what God has in store for the future. Hotty toddy. Rachel Lewis Hammonds, magna cum laude. Rachel is from Memphis and will attend Northwestern University for graduate school in the fall. She thanks the Lord and her family for their constant love and support. Robert Hurd. Robert is from Germantown, Tennessee, and has greatly enjoyed his time at Ole Miss. He looks forward to what is to come in the future. Hotty toddy. Susan Holt. By George, Susan really did it. She did it, she did it. Susan wants to thank everyone who has supported her through the good and the bad. Hashtag we made it. Hashtag hotty toddy. Benjamin Gibbs Hurston, summa cum laude. I would like to thank Pat Thompson, Bill Rose, Curtis Wilkie, Samir Husney, Darren Sinefsky, and Will Norton for investing in me over the last 4 years. Megan Jackson. Megan will pursue her master's degree in public relations and advertising. She thanks her family for their continuous love and support. Happy Mother's Day, Mom. Go Rebs. Sarah Blair Jackson, cum laude. A skilled writer, Ole Miss ambassador, and current marketing intern for Insight Park, Blair will pursue a career in writing and communications. Chapel Shell Laird. Good times, fun and memories. Love you, friends and family. Hayden Alexander Oliver Lewis. Hayden is very excited to start working for Reform University Fellowship at Auburn University. Adriana Maria Liendo. Thanks to my parents and my sister, Caesar, Alicia, and Alicia Jr. for guiding me to this day. Thanks for your support, motivation, and love. Proud to call myself an Ole Miss grad, and she'll be working in marketing in Dallas. Alexis Nicole Littman. Remember the name. Claudia Mayfield. I would like to thank my family for their support and investment in my education. I love them and appreciate everything they've done. Nikki McDonald. It's been an amazing journey at Ole Miss and has given Nikki an outstanding sense of pride. She will forever be an Ole Miss Rebel. Nikki has accepted a job with Signature Advertising in Memphis. Natalie Miller. Natalie would like to thank her family and friends for making the past 4 years the best yet. Hotty toddy. Sierra Oakley. Sierra has served as FIMU Vice President, a graphic designer for the agency, and as public relations intern for the Oxford Lafayette Humane Society. She plans to pursue an MBA. Thanks, Mom and Dad. Angela Pettit. Angela wants to thank her family for their endless guidance and support. Jeremy, Angela appreciates your patience and advice. Angela couldn't have done it without y'all. Martin Powell. Martin will be taking a job as a social marketing developer at Art Vandelay and Associates in New York City. Don't know if Kramer will be there. Big ups to family and friends. Catherine Riddick. Catherine will be working as an assistant media planner at an ad agency in Atlanta, but will always come back to cheer on the Rebels. Erica K. Schneider. Erica is a Florida native and a member of the Ole Miss women's golf team. She's the daughter of Cindy and Rick Schneider. Mitch Seibert. Mitch would like to thank his parents and family for all their love and support through the past 4 years. Hotty toddy. Spencer Sparks. Spencer wants to thank Professors Feeney and Sparks, his stepfather Renee, and most of all, his mother Louise. Spencer plans to head out west after graduation. Brianna Lee Sapolsky. Brianna is planning to obtain her master's. She was a member of the women's soccer team and wants to thank her parents and grandparents for being here today. Hotty toddy. Will Tyner, Ole Miss Athletics Media Relations student worker, intern all 4 years of college. Could not be more thankful for my experience here. You can take me away from Ole Miss, but it will most certainly be in my heart forever. Hotty toddy. Corinne Vance. Summing 4 years and 140 characters is nearly impossible, but the journey was great and my future looks bright. Thanks, Mom and Dad. Nathaniel Weathersby, cum laude. Nathaniel leaves to start a graphic design internship in Jackson while applying to grad school for fall 2015. Molly Rebecca Wesley. Molly is thankful for her family and friends for their love and support over these past 4 years, and to her professors for pushing her further than she could have imagined. Hillary Ashton White. Hillary would like to thank her family and friends for their love, support, and guidance these last 4 years. Tamika Wilson. She's an Air Force veteran. She's an author. She's a mother. She's a graduate, and she's a future lawyer who lives by this motto: you take the first step in faith. You don't have to see the whole staircase, just take the first step. Martin Luther King. Hashtag too old to be using a hashtag. Anna Gray Young. Anna Gray thanks her family and friends for their love and support. As she moves forward, Ole Miss will remain embedded in her heart. Hotty toddy.
Will candidates for the Bachelor of Arts in Journalism please rise and come forward for conferring of degrees?
Brittany Elizabeth Acuff. Big hair is a sign of confidence, and confidence never goes out of style. Thanks to the family for always supporting my dreams, no matter how big. Maura Anthony. Maura's 4 years at Ole Miss would not mean as much to her if she didn't audition for Rebel Radio as a freshman. Goodbye, Oxford. This is DJ MDA signing off. Alexa Bafalis, Rebel, Jesus follower, proud Texan, SpongeBob enthusiast, dog lover, ready for whatever the big man upstairs has in store for me. Chloe Bagley. Chloe is receiving her degree in broadcast journalism. She worked as a videographer for the MPB show Oxford Sounds and was also a marketing intern for the Ford Center. She wants to thank her parents for their support. She is blessed and grateful to be an Ole Miss graduate. Tyler Frederick Bischoff, magna cum laude. Tyler is the best writer the DM has ever had. And yes, Bo Wallace is better than Archie Manning. James Borkey. There's no limit to the amount of good you can do if you don't care who gets the credit. Ronald Reagan. Lindsay Boudreau. After graduation, Lindsay plans to move to the Czech Republic, teach English for 1 year, and then return to attend law school. Thanks, Mom and Dad. James Brock. Hotty-toddy and go to someplace warm, LSU. Elizabeth Bergreen. Elizabeth is a broadcast major from Athens, Alabama. Post-graduation, she wishes to work in PR. She wants to thank her parents for their support for the past 4 years. Christopher Caldwell, at Riley Escobar, is from Water Valley, Mississippi, son of Lee and Lula Caldwell. He wishes to wish his father happy birthday today. Katie Cambron. Katie is the daughter of Diane Sidwell and Tony Cambron of Rome, Georgia, is a journalism and Spanish double major and a member of Chi O. Daly Cantrell is graduating with degrees in both journalism and art. She plans to follow her dream of being a graphic designer and has enjoyed working for Vaughn Design while in Oxford. Kayla Carpenter. While at Ole Miss, Kayla was a member of the Phi Theta Kappa alumni group, a staff writer for the Daily Mississippian, a member of Alpha Delta Phi sorority, and a Lucky Day scholar. Jillian Clifton, a Texan who found a second home at Ole Miss. She loved every moment of the experience and is a proud rebel who thanks her parents and family for their enduring love and support. Candace S. Coleman. Candace would like to dedicate her degree to her support system, her family, friends, and sisters, those who believed in her when she didn't believe in herself. David Collier. David wants to thank his family and friends. He hopes to pursue a career in sports broadcasting. Cameron Cook. Thank you to my family from New Jersey for the support they have been giving me during these past 4 years. Shout out to Hockey for the great times, and oh yes, Ole Miss does have a hockey team. Ian Cowart. After graduation, Ian will go to work at Brandy's Hope Community Services to help disabled individuals. Kendall Cox. Kendall is the son of Jennifer Cox and LaTwan Maxwell. What's next? A few weeks in Argentina, then a big move to Chicago to pursue PR. Emily Crawford. It's impossible to sum up the past 4 years into 140 characters. Emily's first post-grad step will be traveling to Shenzhen, China to teach writing. What comes next is only 10 characters, indefinite. Paris Crawford. God has not promised us an easy journey, but a safe arrival. No matter what your situation is, God is always in the passenger seat. Miriam Faye Cresswell, magna cum laude. Miriam was honored to serve as station manager for Newswatch 99. She thanks her parents for their unwavering love and support. Mary Liz Cronk. Mary Liz is the daughter of Mr. and Ms. Joe Cronk of Atlanta. She proudly served as a member of the Honors College and Kappa Gamma sorority. Callie Daniels. I am grateful for the opportunities and love here at Ole Miss. I may graduate from the university, but Ole Miss will always be in my heart. Ann Dickerson. Ann Connor Dickerson is a broadcast journalism major with a theater minor. She plans to move to Tupelo, Mississippi, where she will be joining the WTVA news team in June. Paige Dominic. Paige looks forward to starting her new career and is thankful for all the love and support she has received from her family and friends and her handsome boyfriend. Janice Latrice Dunnigan, summa cum laude. We've fallen, risen, and stood against the grain. Now let's live to our name and be rebels for a change. Alex Edwards. Alex is from Parkville, Missouri, son of Bruce and Janie Edwards, photo editor for the Ole Miss Annual and the Daily Mississippian. Nicholas Ely. Nick is a former Rebel linebacker who's a fan of the Eagles and the Lakers. He plans to become the nation's top journalist in all things football and basketball. Virginia England. Virginia is from Jackson, Mississippi. She plans on pursuing a career in graphic design. This year, she was the design editor for the 2014 Ole Miss Yearbook. Megan Claire Farmeyer. Megan is the daughter of Charles and Karen Farmeyer of Kingwood, Texas. During her time at Ole Miss, Megan was a member of Pi Beta Phi sorority and a writer for the Daily Mississippian. Keturah Finn. Keturah from Atlanta has been studying broadcast journalism with an emphasis in public relations. She's a 4-year member of Alpha Omicron Pi, hotty toddy, forever and always an Ole Miss rebel. Samantha Foster. Sam is receiving a degree in broadcast journalism with a minor in English. She plans to move back home to Virginia Beach, Virginia, to pursue a career in public relations and special events. She's a member of Kappa Delta and has formed friendships that will last a lifetime. She'll see you in the Grove this fall. Anna Elizabeth Frost. With man, this is impossible, but with God, all things are possible. Matthew 19:26, hotty toddy. Adam Ganeshow, son of Mike and Stephanie Ganeshow of Hazelhurst, editor of the Daily Mississippian, glad to get out of Dr. Norton's hair or lack thereof. Tarek Gracia. Some may have started off faster than I have, but the story of the tortoise and the hare has been my life story. God willing, I will be a living testament that hard work and faith can't be replaced by anything. Bracy Shalise Harris, magna cum laude. Bracy heads off in 2 weeks to the New York Times Student Institute. Afterwards, she hopes to find a job as a broadcast producer. Megan Hoglin. Megan was a member of Kappa Kappa Gamma. She plans to pursue a career in public relations in Dallas. Landon Hurston Heath. He's the quiet type. Raquel Helmer. Raquel served as news director of Rebel Radio and was vice president of the Meek School Student Activities Board. She hopes to serve on a media team for summer camps. Meridane Hughes, at Meridane H, is graduating with a journalism degree with a print emphasis and minor in Italian. She plans to pursue a career in magazines and public relations. Madison Mason Hill, cum laude. She's a native of Auburn, Alabama. Madison has always had a love for writing. She's receiving her degree in print journalism with a minor in Spanish, and she plans to pursue a journalism career. Casey Aaron Holliday, magna cum laude. Casey says, I would like to thank my family and friends for helping me reach this point. Your support means everything to me. I wouldn't be ready to move to begin work in Thailand without your love. Jesse Mary, you were supposed to? Hodakainen, a U.S. Navy veteran, thank you again, daughter of Paul and Ruth Hodakainen from Embarrass, Minnesota. Yes, that's a place. She plans to pursue a master's in journalism at Ole Miss. Mike Hood. Mike is currently carving his path to law school and trying to stay as close as he can to Oxford so he can keep growing post-graduation. He also thanks his parents for their love and support. Courtney Hudspeth, a St. Louis girl who has come to call Oxford and Ole Miss home. Without my parents, I wouldn't be where I am today, so I say thank you. Maggie Hurst. Maggie is from Little Rock, Arkansas. She's enjoyed the past 4 years and found her passion for journalism and film. Hannah Jalawan. The people I've met here will continue to inspire me every day. They help shape the person I am today, and this is a person I am proud to be. Calvin Stansell Jarbo, a native Lone Star son, a ski bum, and through, in Dixieland, he made his stand, and it's been fun. Kenyatta Jenkins. She's a women's basketball player aspiring to be a photojournalist from Potts Camp, Mississippi. Her future plans are to play basketball professionally overseas. Mara Michelle LeSueur Joff, summa cum laude. She's our class marshal, Taylor medalist, and future UM law student, daughter of the smartest parents here. And can this count as your Mother's Day gift, Mom? Kels Johnson. Ole Miss has taught me to love others and not fear going the extra mile. Most importantly, keep God first and close. Hashtag booyah. Taylor Kamnitz, daughter of Greg and Mary Beth Kamnitz. She loves her family, friends, and Ole Miss. Taylor is beyond blessed and thrilled for what her future holds. Alexandra King, Mom and Dad, thanks for sticking with me through all my schools. My only plan is to continue living with ever-changing horizons. Ariel Ladner, all the world is made of faith and trust and pixie dust. So says J.M. Barrie. Hashtag never growing up. Farrell Virginia Lau. Farrell Akai Omega has worked as creative ad designer for the Daily Mississippian, was involved in retail marketing and graphic design for Nella Oxford on the Square. She would like to thank her family for all their love and support, and Ole Miss for giving her a memorable 4 years. She's moving to Houston, where she'll work for one of the top PR firms in the Southwest. Kentrell Lockett Jr. Kentrell wants to thank his Ole Miss family for all the love over the past 4 years, his family and his loving wife for their support. Peace out. Caroline Long. Caroline hopes to pursue a career in public relations after graduation. She has a great love for Ole Miss and wishes everyone the best of luck. Mariah Martin. Can't thank my family and the people who made my college experience so special. I can't thank enough the college, my family who made whatever. I will forever bleed red and blue. Hope y'all see me on ESPN, and when you're on there, talk better than I do, please. Thank you. Austin McAfee. Austin is very thankful for his friends, family, and fraternity for being a part of his life. He learned a lot here and looks forward to a successful career. Heather McGregor. Heather will receive 2 degrees today, a BA in journalism and a BA in art. She wants to thank her family and son for being supportive during the last few years. Lauren McMarie McMillan, magna cum laude. First Madison, then Oxford, next is Nashville. Here I come. God is good all the time. All the time God is good. Hashtag opportunity for greatness. Hashtag dominate the day. John Austin Monteith, cum laude. John was involved with Newswatch, serving as station manager. He was awarded first place Best Hard News Reporter at SEJC Best of the South competition. Natalie Eileen Moore. Natalie was the design editor of the Daily Mississippian and would like to thank her friends, family, and professors for helping her get to this point. Nori Elise Moore. The daughter of Lisa Moore and Norris French, she plans to attend graduate school in the fall. Nori is active in her community and his church. To my family and friends, thank you for your love and support. Addison Marino. Best 7 years of my life. Addison couldn't have done this without his family, friends, and his amazing girlfriend. Thank you all for never giving up faith in me. Hotty toddy. Hashtag Dean Mitchell loves my shoes. Ignacio Murillo. Ignacio served as design editor for 2 years at the Daily Mississippian. He worked under Samir, Mr. Magazine Husni, and is the creative director of Mud and Magnolias magazine. He also interned with the Ole Miss Athletic Media Relations and Factory PR in New York. Muchas gracias, mami y papa, and hotty toddy. Hashtag, what? I woke up like this. Natalie Nemo. Natalie is the daughter of Tim and Stacy Nemo. While at Ole Miss, she was a member of the Ole Miss softball team, Student Athlete Advisory Committee, and served as team leader for the Fellowship of Christian Athletes. Thanks, Mom and Dad. Anna Catherine Patterson. Anna was a Lucky Day Scholar and a member of Sigma Phi Lambda sorority. She plans to work in the publishing field before pursuing graduate school. Megan Pettigrew. Megan is so happy to be graduating from the University of Mississippi class of 2014. She couldn't have done it without the support of family and friends. Matthew Pike. Matthew is grateful to his family who helped him during his time in school. He hopes to use his journalism skills for good in the future. Stuart Pirani. Thank you to everyone from interning at NBC Nightly News to station manager for Newswatch 99. I'm now at stuartperani.com, hashtag Hotty Toddy. Thomas Porter. Thomas is thankful for the love and support from his friends and family. He will forever be grateful for attending Ole Miss. Emily Faye Quatman. Following graduation, Emily will be moving back to her hometown of Kansas City, Missouri, to pursue her career in the field of public relations. Bridget Quinn. Bridget, from Atlanta, is the daughter of Jim and Laureen Quinn. She is graduating from the School of Journalism with an emphasis in print and public relations. Alto Hilliard Ray IV. He was a member of Phi Delta Theta fraternity for 2 years. His degree is in journalism with a minor in English. He would like to thank everyone who helped him to get where he is today. Hotty Toddy. Olivia Lee Rierick, cum laude. Thank you to my family, friends, and professors for making my 4 years here unforgettable. We graduated. Hashtag real world. Adrian Jean Reynolds. Adrian is a Gamma Beta Phi member with an avid love of helping others. She will attend Ole Miss Law School in the fall. Love you, Grandmommy. Ryan Rigney. Ryan spent his entire college career writing about video games. I have his book. He may have them in the lobby. Ryan spent his entire career writing about video games. He hopes that goes somewhere. Alexander Daniel Rosado. Alex would like to say thank you to everyone who has helped him and believed in him to get him where he is today. Jennifer Ryan. Jennifer is the daughter of Joe and Sue Ryan of Rahway, New Jersey. During her time at Ole Miss, she was part of the Pi Beta Phi sorority. Christina Jones. And we know that for those who love God, all things work together for good, and for those who are called according to his purpose. Romans 8:28. Thank you to my loving husband, sisters, and my beautiful mother for believing in me. Zachary Schwartzman. I would like to thank my mom and dad for everything they've done for me. The years I've spent at Ole Miss have been the best of my life. Jera Ashley Scott. Jera Scott is working as a staff writer at the Oxford Eagle. She would not be here today without the support of her family and friends. Love you all. Hotty Toddy. Jared Brand Robert Senseman. Jared Senseman would like to thank Deborah Winger and Alicia Steele for helping him find his passion for journalism and photography. Matthew Christopher Sigler. It's not work if you love what you're doing, and I love what I'm about to do. Julia Catherine Simmons. Julia Simons wants to thank the university for the education and opportunities it has given her. Julia is proud to be an Ole Miss Rebel. P.S. Thanks, Mom and Dad. Shaniqua Simpson, a New Albany native and daughter of Rogers and Brenda Simpson. Shaniqua hopes one day to work as a photojournalist for a nonprofit organization. Kaylee Ann Skinner, magna cum laude. Kaylee is the daughter of Fernando Skinner and Julie O'Reilly. She works for the Daily Mississippian and ran on the Ole Miss track team. Will Strickland, son of Rob and Beth, is from Knoxville, Tennessee, and is graduating with an emphasis in print. Tell me again. Jared Jerome Stubbs. Couldn't have done this without my family, friends, and God. Family over everything. Jory Talley. Jory earned a degree in broadcast journalism, emphasis in public relations. She is from Olive Branch, the daughter of Todd and Kim Talley. Jory has worked for Newswatch since her sophomore year and is a member of Phi Mu. She has worked with the Big Event, helped with elections, and attended Campus Crusade for Christ for 4 years. I'm running out of air. Stephanie Danielle Thomas, cum laude. From writing for the DM to working in D.C., her 4 years here have only made her more positive that one day she'll be a reporter on Capitol Hill. Laura Kate Tutton. Thank you to my family, friends, and professors for making these last 4 years fabulous. Hashtag Hottie Toddy. Kayla Weiss. Kayla would like to thank her family, friends, and teachers for their support. A special thanks to her parents who made this dream possible. Jacqueline Walker. Jacqueline is thankful for her parents, professors, and mentors for helping her make her graduation goals come true. She's the daughter of Mr. and Mrs. David Walker of Batesville, Mississippi. Morgan Stewart White. Mom, you are Superwoman. Dr. Schultz, Professor Winger, y'all are inspiration. Ole Miss, you are everything. Hashtag Hottie Toddy. Hannah Witten. She is a native of Florence, Alabama, who served internships with ESPN and Ole Miss Athletics. She's also a future commissioner of the National Football League. Austin Wilkes. Austin is graduating with a bachelor's degree in broadcast journalism and a minor in psychology. He served as a global ambassador and a member of the Associated Student Body. He plans on pursuing a career in entertainment law. Catherine Christie Williamson, cum laude. Honors College grad, member of Phi Kappa Phi, Kappa Tau Alpha, Kappa Pi, and Who's Who. Received Excellence in Journalism Award and the Robert F. Kennedy Award. Quentin Scott Winstein. From Slidell, the youngest of 5 boys and the first to graduate from college. Thank you to my friends and family for helping me get this far, and to all the graduates, remember to do it for the people. Natalie Wood. Today, Natalie is grateful for her Savior, for her education and her precious family. The future belongs to those who believe in the beauty of their dreams.
I was going to say, let's congratulate the class of 2014. Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for our alma mater.
Way down south in Mississippi, there's a spot that ever calls, where amongst the hills enfolded stand old alma mater's hall, where the trees hang high their branches to the whispering southern breeze. There Ole Miss is calling, calling to our hearts fond memories.
We want to thank our excellent musicians, Susan Gaston, Diane Wang, and Yan Mao. Our soloist today has been Annabeth Higginbotham, a senior in the Meek School who is Miss University and will represent the university at the Miss Mississippi pageant in a few weeks. Now the graduates and the platform party will remain standing. We ask the audience to be seated and remain seated until our platform party and graduates have left the auditorium. You may wish to have a photo taken with your graduate. A special photo set is just outside the Ford Center, exterior doors to the left. Safe travels. Thank you.